Software requirements are the lifeblood to any software development project. Poorly defined software requirements, or lack thereof, can contribute to a project being late, over budget, or failing to achieve the required software functionality. Taking the time to write well-defined software requirements within the input of all project stakeholders can be the difference between the success or failure of your software development effort. Oftentimes, software requirements are confused with functional or product requirements. Functional requirements are high-level product requirements. These functional requirements describe how the product as a whole is supposed to operate. Typically, marketing stakeholders are responsible for the functional or product requirements. Marketing stakeholders define how they need the product to operate in order to meet the market demand and be competitive with or surpass similar technology. Functional requirements are very important to have and are often incredibly helpful when transitioning into development, but they are not the same as software requirements. The functional requirements can flow down into software requirements, helping the software engineers glean software requirements from the functional specification. Software requirements are an essential component to both the design and development phase of any software project. So, when it comes to the software development lifecycle, it's best to develop software requirements before getting into development. Creating requirements before development will allow those responsible for the development to have a clear understanding of what the project stakeholders intend to have developed in terms of software features and software functionality. The process of developing software requirements is collaborative, which helps sort out any unknown specifications amongst all project stakeholders. So, when it comes to actually writing software requirements, there's a few characteristics to keep in mind. We call them the 4 C's of software requirements. The first C to keep in mind when writing software requirements would be to make sure that each requirement is complete. Each software requirement must be clearly defined and express a full and complete thought. In addition to being complete, we recommend that software teams make sure their requirements are correct. Reviewing the requirements to make sure they're correct and don't conflict with other requirements within the specification is imperative. This is because when conflicting requirements are found within the same specification, how do you then know which requirement is correct? It takes time to figure that out, and may even require modifications to the software when executing software verification. The third C to keep in mind when writing software requirements is to make sure that your requirements are concise. Be sure to refrain from writing vague requirements or run-on sentences. For example, rather than writing a paragraph per requirement, break down that paragraph into multiple requirements that are one thought each. Having requirements written out in a paragraph form can leave a lot of openness for interpretation. The final key to writing effective software requirements is making sure that each requirement is confirmable, or in other words, testable. Yes, testable. The software requirements developed during a project's design phase will also come into play post-development. A software system's test protocols will be specifically developed to ensure that the software requirements are met. This means that the software requirements must be verified in testing or during software verification. Writing out the software requirements is only one component of the software requirement specification as a whole. The way in which the specification is organized can impact the effectiveness of the document as well. Think of organizing the specification almost like a work breakdown structure, grouping individual requirements together by topic. Then, add in subtopics in an outline type format. A poorly constructed software requirement specification can greatly contribute to a project being late, over budget, or failing to achieve the required software functionality. A well-written software requirement specification should minimize or eliminate scope creep, meet all stakeholder requirements, and yield a high-quality end product. Make the commitment to spend the time to compose a really sound software requirement specification, reducing software development burdens and meeting your go-to market milestone. At PSI, we've been writing software requirement specifications for over 40 years. If you have any questions or don't know where to start, please contact us for assistance. We're always happy to help.
If you found this video to be helpful and would like to learn more, or if you'd like to learn about another specific software development related topic, let us know in the comments below or send us a message at info@psi-software.com.